When I was in Mexico, every morning I would have their baked eggs. They're called Huevos Rancheros. I hope I've pronounced it right, but I do know for a fact that they are absolutely delicious. Why? Because there's so many flavors going on. You've got chili, capsicum, tomatoes, lots of different spices, and a little bit of cheese to go with it. In a large pan, I've got a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to start to soften some capsicum. So red capsicum that I've finely chopped, along with some green. And sticking with the colour profile, I'm going to add a red chilli and a green chilli. If you want to serve this to the kids, just leave it out. The capsicum will be enough there to give it some wonderful flavour. Let's start mixing this and softening that. To this, I'm going to add some onion, and I've just got a Spanish onion here. I'm just going to finely dice this. And all of this needs to really soften down. What I like about this is, yes, you do have it in the morning in Mexico, but you could absolutely have this for lunch or for a really fast dinner. So that's enough onion, that can go in too. I'm also going to add a little bit more olive oil and a little pinch of salt. Great, while that all starts to soften up, I'm going to prepare some kale. Definitely not traditional in Huevos Rancheros, but I'm going to add it because I really want to bulk this brekkie out. So scrunch it up and just shred it. This is going to go in at the early stage of cooking, so I'm going to add this next. That's plenty for this serving. We'll sprinkle that in and give that a really good toss. Now that that is starting to wilt down, we can add some spices. 2 spices for this, some ground cumin and some ground coriander. That can go in now because we do want to toast it off a little bit. So even amounts of the spices, and once it's really fragrant, which it is now, we can add some crushed tomatoes for this. So that can be added at this stage. One last stir. And now the lid goes on, and I'm going to cook this for about 5 to 8 minutes, just until the rawness of the tomato is cooked out, and then we can add the eggs. Now this is thick and rich. It smells so good. So now we can start adding the eggs, or huevos, if you want to say it in Spanish. I'm going to take 1 egg at a time, make a little well in the sauce here, and then we can crack our gorgeous, fresh, free-range eggs into each individual area. Now, once I've got all the eggs into the pan, I'm going to put the lid on so the eggs can actually steam on the top and cook down the bottom. These will take about 2 minutes to cook, or until that egg white is just perfectly set. In that time, I've just been heating up a few of the tortillas, and have a look at this. Ta-da! That is just gorgeous. You know, if you make this for your friends, they're going to think that you've done something so magnificent, so complicated, but it's so easy to do. And don't take it out of the pan. I would place the pan straight on the table like that with a bit of coriander. I'm just going to tear that straight over the top. One thing I have forgotten is a little bit of salt, because egg yolks and a touch of salt really brings out their flavour. So just a sprinkle of salt on each egg to finish off. And I love a little bit of cheese. So I've got some cheddar cheese here that I'm going to sprinkle over the top. And you do this at the last minute so it just starts to melt when it gets to the table. So that last tortilla wrap is finished. I'll take it off the heat. I've got a nifty little holder here, and that is breakfast served. But like I said, also fantastic at lunch, also fantastic for a very fast dinner.